Content creator Claudine Francois and the founder of In Good Clean Taste. I am dedicated to helping women entrepreneurs design a healthy lifestyle by incorporating healthy, delicious tools, tips, and resources that empower their inner and outer game. Every episode, my featured guest and I share our healthy, delicious lifestyle journey on my globally recognized show, Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. Hello. Thank you so much for being here on Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. We have an exciting guest today. She is a dear friend of mine and an absolute powerhouse. So I'm really excited for you to meet her. She's going to give us some super useful tips that I know you're going to want to hear. Also, I have a very special gift for the community. So please stay on until the end so you don't miss out. And as always, if you're interested in learning more about me, my products, and my services, you can check those out at ingoodcleantaste.com. Now, today's show topic is how to have your best body after 40 with Rochelle Collinwood. I'm going to bring her up from the green room in just a minute, but let me tell you about this amazing woman. So Rochelle is a certified athletic trainer. She received a bachelor's degree in integrated sciences in human performance, sports medicine, with an emphasis in athletic training at Weber State University, followed by a master's degree in athletic training. So this lady knows her stuff, okay? With her extensive educational background, I'd say, and love for health and fitness, Rochelle has expanded her search for how to incorporate wellness in every aspect of life. And we are going to get into that. So if you're like groaning here, you're like, oh, I hate exercising. We have so many things to incorporate here. So you definitely want to check it out. I'm going to bring her up so you can meet her. Here she comes. You ready? Hello, Rochelle. So good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited for our conversation today. And I would love to start with the question that I ask everyone, which is, what does a healthy, delicious lifestyle mean to you?
Oh, absolutely. If you can do what you want to do when you want to do it, and in any way you want to do it, like how do you want to do it? You want to do it like lively and engaged, or do you want to be dragging behind and barely keeping up with the crowd, right? And so
Right.
for me, a healthy, delicious lifestyle is doing what you want to do when you want to do it and just the way you want to do it. So it's like
Yes.
being able to be involved in anything that you find exciting and uplifting in your life.
I love that because it's like, it's not just about living, it's about living well, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. It's definitely a zesty citrus moment. We're starting early with these today, man. We're getting some gems. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I think about what it is going to be like. Like we're putting money in the bank account of health right now, right? Like we are setting ourselves up for living long and healthy lives by what we do now.
Yeah, absolutely. And making that decision today, and it's never too late to make that decision. So you might
Mm,
think you're far past, and that's not true. The moment that you start adding in fitness and or strength training is the day that your body is going to start working for you again and stop working against you.
I love that. Oh my gosh, so good. And I really want to get to your shares because you had some really great shares. And this one I really want to talk about. It is take the information that is useful and apply it and discard any information that doesn't work for you personally. Stick with something for a minimum of 90 days to see results. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be thinking, oh, she's just talking about strength training, but I feel like you're encompassing a lot more than not simple, but more than exercise. So tell me kind of broadly what you mean by that statement.
Yeah, so I find it in women's health, especially, there is just so much confusion. I was just talking to someone this morning that had that same question, and it's really about trial and error for women because all of our bodies are different, all of our hormone cycles are different. Like we are very unique creatures. And a
Mm,
lot of the information out there may or may not suit us 100% of the way, right? And
right.
so, yes, it is important to consume all of the information, but it's take what is useful for you. So you're going to have to trial it for 90 days. I say give it 90 days. And then it's like, if parts of it were useful and you found success, then you're going to use those parts and you're going to discard all of the other information that didn't work for you, because there's no reason to feel guilty or like, oh my gosh, why isn't this? Or all those emotions that we feel as women of like, well, it worked for my friend, but it's not working for me. And so what my motto for me is, take the information that is useful and that put you closer to your goals, and then discard all the other information because that's irrelevant. It may not work for you, and that is okay. That's absolutely okay. And so as you do that and become more knowledgeable in the things that work for you, the faster your progress towards your goals is going to happen.
Oh, so good. And so what's the significance of the 90 days? Why 90 days specifically?
I always like to give it a good solid try. So 30 days, I feel like if you mess up just once or twice, then the results are skewed, right? If you go a little bit longer to that 90-day mark, then your results are going to be, even if you mess up once or twice, for the majority of it, you're going to have goals. Now, specifically in strength training, 12 weeks is when you're going to actually notice change. Right? So in like 4-6 weeks, you might see numbers changing, but you don't feel it yet. And so I'm the type of person that I want to be able to feel the change before I say this is working for me or this is not. And I find about 12 weeks in or about 90 days in is when people outside of my environment start commenting of like, hey, are you doing something different? What's going on? I see change here. And I also can feel the change. And so that's why I say, give it 90 days. 90 days isn't that long in our lifespan to trial and error something. And then if it doesn't work, then you just change up and move on.
Right. And for women who are still in their cycling stage of life, that's only 3 cycles.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like you tried it, like you mentioned the months, right? Going through a monthly rotation, you're really only doing that 3 times. And I mean, think about anything we do. Usually by the 3rd time, you're like getting the hang of it. You're like feeling good. You're starting to understand maybe some more of the nuances that you didn't get in the beginning. And I think, as you mentioned, really tweaking it to what you need, right? Like realizing, okay, this works for my body, but this doesn't work for my body. So I'm going to keep this, but not that type of thing, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That was so good. Now, one other thing when you say 90 days, it makes me think of is this product that you brought up, which is fat burn.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that. And the reason why it made me think of it at 90 days is because a lot of people will try a new product for like 30 days and get annoyed that it doesn't work. But this one, just like many others, I feel like you don't even start to see a lot of you don't see it. Doesn't mean it's not working, but you don't see it for like 90 days. So tell us about this one.
So the fat burn is an incredible product. The burning comes from the centrol, which is a bunch of citruses and herbs, and it's just an amazing thing. This is a long-term product, right? So it's something that you won't see results in the beginning because it's only burning about 100 calories a week, which sounds insignificant, right? You're like, 100 calories a week. I can take one snack and eat that much, right? And so it's a cumulative, right? So if we can cut 100 calories out of our meals or out of our daily intake, this is just one of the easy ways to do it. So it's going to increase your body's metabolism so that you can burn an additional about 100 calories. And over time, now that equivalates to a pound and 2 pounds and 3 pounds. And so the study that was done in a double-blind study is in about the 12-week mark was about 4 pounds lost. And so I was like, that's a pretty good deal. But that means that you got to stick with it for those 90 days again in order to see those pounds lost. And I mean, 4 pounds, I mean, I think any of us women will take a 4-pound weight loss by using a product that is proven to work. So
absolutely cool. Thank you so much for sharing with that. And I'll link that in the show notes for those of you who are interested. That's so cool. So I want to get to your next tip because it was so juicy. Building muscle and strength are key to improving your metabolism. strength training is a stimulus for change, not the actual change itself. I don't think I've heard anyone put it that way. Tell us what you mean about that, because I think that is really gold, and I think it bears some explaining.
Yeah. So strength training builds muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the important caveat to that is that second sentence is that the being in the gym doing the strength training is the damage, is the breakdown of muscle, is the stimulus so that the body can then repair itself and build new muscle fibers and become greater and bigger and leaner and stronger and all those things that we're looking for. So in strength training, what we can do is we can build more muscle fibers. Well, muscle is metabolic, meaning it burns calories when you're resting. Fat is not, right? So fat, you're going to sit around and you're going to burn about a pound or 5 calories per pound. Okay. That's not very great. On the other end, your 1 pound of muscle is going to burn about 35 calories at rest. So
Wow.
to build more muscle, you're going to become more metabolic, meaning you're going to burn more calories at rest, which is awesome. Now, the workout itself, like I said, is the breakdown of those muscles. And so if we're going into the gym on a daily basis, breaking down our muscles, when do we get to repair and build those muscle fibers, right? And so the strength training action is just the stimulus. Our bodies are actually what does do all the changing. And so we actually need to give our body the rest time that it needs to repair and replenish so that when we go back to the gym, we can stimulate at a full cup instead of at half cup, right? And a lot of us, what we do is we think more is better. And so we're going to go do more to stimulate more change, but then we don't give our body the time it needs to facilitate those changes.
Listen up, overachievers out there.
Yeah, so most of us, right? We are like, yeah, more is better. So for me, I think the most important part is to know that your body does all of the good things that you want it to do. Your body is the one that builds muscle. Your body is the one that loses the fat. Your body is the one that increases your energy levels. All of that happens because you're going to give your body enough time to recover. Now, I'm guessing you're going to say, well, how do I recover? What do I do? And so,
words out of my mouth.
I know that I'm recovered. And I always say, if you do a good workout, you should have some type of muscle soreness. Now, it shouldn't be like the debilitating, I can't get out of bed, but it should be like, I wake up in the morning and I feel like, oh my gosh, I accomplished something yesterday. That's the kind of sore I want to feel. Then you know that your body's recovered when you no longer feel that body soreness. Now is the time to go back into the gym and do that again. And so for me, it would be usually about a day to 2 days that you're going to want to give your body a complete break and be doing just active lifestyle walking or yoga, no strength training.
Yes, I love that. So give yourself a rest out there. Definitely a lifestyle moment. I love that. So good. And I think that's important for us to hear because especially now you and I have talked a lot about women and their cycles and where they are in their cycle and what they should be doing at different stages of their cycles. And I used to really be pissed off at myself. I'd go do my workouts and I'd be great one week. And the next week I would just be super sluggish and I wouldn't get as much out of it. And I'd be like, what is wrong with me? Well, there was nothing wrong with me. I was just at a different stage of my cycle and I needed to listen to my body.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think that's what you're talking about is listening to your body. Does your body feel replenished? Do you feel like you're ready for another workout or are you really dragging and pushing yourself?
Yeah. And it's really important to honor that. Again, going back to the first message is that take what's useful for you. So someone might tell you that working out every day is what's useful for them. And that might not be the answer for you. The answer might be your body and your hormones really need you to take a break and do those what we would call easy things of eating well, sleeping well, like really, really paying attention to how your body's responding to the stimulus of exercise. Yeah.
Yes. And for the women out there, please, 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 please remember that most of the workouts you see out there and really most of the meal plans you see out there are designed for men's bodies. So you really need to figure out what bits of those work for you because it's not really designed for the way our bodies work. So sometimes you have to do a lot of tweaking to get it to work the way we want it to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So good. Now, there was something that you shared with me when it comes to, I had never seen this before, and I love this idea. I want you to tell us more about this. Tell me more. Tell me more about the weighted vest.
Yeah, so I appreciate a weighted vest versus like dumbbells or barbells, so that you now have your hands and arms free, right? So it's important that we're safe and we are doing things mechanically correct when we're exercising, so we're not getting injured. And so instead of worrying about like, should I use 10 pounds? Should I use 20 pounds? Should I use 30 pounds? I always just say, let's just change your body weight, and then we can do body weight exercises. You could even do this in your cardio. If you're going to go for a jog or something like that, you can do this as well. It's going to add a little bit of more weight to your legs and how much they have to work. And so I really, really enjoy doing at-home exercises with a vest versus with like dumbbells, barbells, that kind of thing. And then doing more mechanically correct exercises. Lifting a dumbbell is not necessarily the most everyday use activity that we can do. But if you're going to do like push-ups or you're going to do pull-ups or things like that, we probably do that more often during the day. If you think of like the mechanics of how those movements work. And so this vest is phenomenal. You can put in up to, I mean, some of the vests go up to like 25, 30 pounds of extra weight. If you're going to do like a leg workout that day, then I would put in like the heavy weights and do a leg workout. If you're going to do an arm workout, maybe I'd take some of those weights out and I would do it like 10, 15 pounds, and then do some arm exercises using.
So arm exercises, meaning like you're doing push-ups so that you're using the weight that's on the chest. Because if you try to do.
Yeah, so when you're wearing it, it just now, instead of you pushing up your own body weight, you're now pushing up your body weight plus 10 pounds, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so you're already mechanically adding that extra load without adding so many pieces of equipment, because I can now add 5, 10, 15, up to 25 pounds into this one thing instead of having a slew of weights in the house that take up space, and we don't always have all that.
That's so cool.
I find this to be a very, very efficient and effective way to add weight to home exercises.
Yeah, and you're reminding me that a friend of mine, when she was training for, I think she was training for some big hike, she would run on the treadmill with a really heavy backpack. But I'm thinking this would be a lot easier to have it kind of more balanced in your own weight than to have this like big thing kind of pulling you back as you're on the treadmill.
Yeah. And yeah, this is a great way to train for different things, knowing like if you're going to be doing a weighted pack, going for a hike for a overnight trip or something, then adding that amount of weight, your pack's going to be 15 pounds, add 15 pounds, and then do your training with that extra weight. And then when you put that backpack on, you're going to just sail right through that adventure.
That's so cool. I'm just going to get one to wear around the house, just burn a few extra calories.
That's right.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So one thing that I know you and I have talked about several times is how big of an effect stress plays on our ability to lose weight. And so something I had said was stress plays an outsized role in weight and belly fat after 40. Now I have a lot of clients who talk about, they're like, I'm not really gaining weight. I'm just gaining extra fat in my belly area. Now the fat burn that we talked about will certainly help with that. And of course, you and I have worked together on different nutrition programs that can certainly help with that too. But let's talk about the effect of stress. I mean, we talked about scheduling downtime in your workouts. Let's talk about the effect of stress in our daily lives. How do you see it impacting your clients?
Yeah, so the biggest is that when your body is in a state of stress, usually your cortisol is high. When your cortisol is high, that means you're probably not sleeping well. That means that you're going to have cravings for things that you probably shouldn't eat. That your body is in what we call the survival mode, right? And so in the survival mode, your body is going to hold on to everything because it thinks that it needs to hibernate for winter. And so it's not going to let go of any of our excess calories or fat
Yeah. It
if
doesn't have
we're
time
in that
for
mode. And
metabolizing.
so we think of stress as like, oh, well, I'm not stressed, but this is just how I live my daily life. And guess what? Your body is probably stressed out. And
Mhm.
so I absolutely believe in scheduling that downtime, or, I mean, it doesn't have to be copious amounts of time. It has to be very, very mindful time that you can take some deep breaths, that you can slow your mind down, that you can take you as a priority. And so that could be 3 minutes. It could be 5 minutes. It could be you sitting in the car waiting for your kids to get out of school for 5 minutes, right? It could be
Yes.
you coming home and going to your room for 5 minutes, and getting undone from your day, ready to take on the kids for the rest of the day, right? And so
Yeah.
it,
Just
it
take a good
doesn't
deep
take
breath.
long. It just needs to be mindful.
Yes, that is such a mocktail moment. Like, give yourself a mocktail moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I absolutely love that. And another thing that we have talked about, you and I, is about how our body, because basically stress is a form of a toxin, right? And so if our body is not responding to diet and lifestyle changes, the things that you and I like, that's our deal, right? We
Yep.
work on those things with people because we know that's usually the first and easiest step. Easiest. But if your body isn't responding that way, you could have toxicity or hormone issues, and you'd want to get tested with someone who knows. And by someone who knows, I'm usually talking about a functional medicine practitioner, because if you've heard me or seen me on social media, you know that a lot of the testing that doctors do, they don't have the training and they don't have the facility to read the test the way they need to be read, because they aren't really able to do anything with you until you are already in a state of disease, right? But when
Yep.
you're working with a wellness practitioner who can look at you from a state of prevention, they can already find, like, some people have a lot of heavy metals in their systems. Some
Yep.
people have a lot of issues going on that are triggering, they have a lot of toxins that are triggering other issues. They could be triggering autoimmune issues. They could be triggering any kind of genetically predisposed thing going on in your body. It could be triggering that.
Yeah, I was like, one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that now you don't have the motivation to work out because you feel so run down. And then
Yeah.
you do a workout and then you feel even more depleted than you did before, which is the opposite of how you
Mhm.
should feel. Because you should come in to a workout, maybe humdrum and saying, oh, I don't know if I have the energy for this. And then leaving ready to give people high fives and feeling great because you now stimulated all those happy hormones. Now, if you leave a workout and you feel humdrum, right? It is
Mhm.
probably because your hormones and or your body is now working against you because it's already overloaded with the task that it's trying to deal with. And so I have recommended that you don't work out and you take time to reset your own system before you get to those workouts, because that is really important.
Yes, actually, that is such a great point. Is that if you are feeling depleted after a workout, that is not okay, right? That is your body telling you something else is going on. I don't need a workout. I need you to fix the underlying issue that's causing you to be so tired. And a lot of women are walking around like living zombies, right? A lot of us are just, I mean, this was me many years ago, right? This is how I came into the work that I'm doing now, is that I was so depleted, everything exhaustified me. I like that word, exhaustified. But everything exhaustified me. My food didn't give me energy. My workouts didn't give me energy. I was getting migraines all the time. And it wasn't until I met someone who was doing this kind of testing who could tell me, all of your levels are jacked up, girl. Like, you
Yeah.
need some healing. And by healing, I don't mean like slapping a prescription on and be like, all right, we're just going to cover up the problems. No, I'm talking about actually um, kickstarting the body's ability to heal, right? The body has an innate ability to heal, and there are certain things that can help the body do that, right? Because when you have all these toxins, if you have all these toxins in your body, it's blocking any healing. So I'm so glad you brought that up. That was really great. And one thing I wanted to share for those of you who are listening, who I promised you, if you stayed on to the end, I'd have something special for you, is that I do have a free guide on the hidden truths about weight loss. So if you've been plateauing, if you've been struggling, if you're like, I have tried all the things, I don't know what is going on, I will drop the link to this in the show notes so you can get it. It's absolutely free. It is my gift to you. enjoy so that you can find some of the answers you're looking for. Rochelle, this has been absolutely amazing. Of course, I loved having you on. You're such a great guest, so much knowledge. And I will definitely be linking your information in the show notes as well so people can get a hold of you if they want to hear more, because I know you have so much goodness out there. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm going to drop you into the green room. Stay there, get your mocktail. I'll be right back. Oh my goodness. So, so good. So I told you she'd have a lot of great information for us, right? Thank you so much for joining me. And I want to remind you, how are you going to create a healthy, delicious lifestyle for yourself today? Remember all the things we talked about? Remember, you can get your great workouts in, but make sure you get your downtime. And if your body's pushing you, make sure you listen. So until then, be sure to join me for another episode of Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. Remember, we are going live on Mondays at 9 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Central. Have a healthy, delicious lifestyle. Bye.